Films have a big impact on us, especially in our childhood, because at that stage of our life we are still developing our brain. Films are more impressionable. Now, Manichitrathazhu is considered to be the biggest Malayalam film ever. It is part of the culture, its dialogues, its scenes, the music has impacted everyone who saw the film when it came out or later in their lives. And very interestingly, its Hindi remake Bhool Bhulaiyaa did the same to me and many other Hindi audiences. So here is me, Nona Prince, doing a comparative study between Manichitrathazhu, the original, and the Hindi remake Bhool Bhulaiyaa. Now, as always, watched both the films back to back with other viewers of the channel on Discord. So if you want to join us in the future, link description, come join the community. It's really interesting that both the films had such a big impact on the culture. If you're a Malayali, you would know more than me. But even in Hindi, the music, the characters, the songs are still well known and people remember them. So first, let's talk about the original. Manichitrathazhu, directed by Fazil, written by Madhu Muttam, starring Mohanlal, Suresh Gopi, Shobana and many more. Now remember, I knew the plot beat by beat, so I knew what's coming up. Now I felt the original was more subtle. There was comedy, but there was drama and some seriousness too. Now definitely this film came out in 1993, and with the technology of that time, whatever they could, they did, and they tried their best. I think writing is what really stands out. It's very well done, blending horror with comedy, and over that being a progressive film, that it's not really a supernatural thing, but a scientific thing behind it, multiple personality disorder. And I think for 1993, it's quite progressive. Now one really big factor is the connection with the film. I think knowing the actors, knowing the language, your connection will be greater to the film than mine. For me, it's just subtitles, it's just visuals, and that's it. But for you, you know the slang, you know the language. If something is said in a certain way, it's more funny for you, but not for me. Also, some of the characters' behavior, the way they talk, you'd relate more to it than me, and that's what happened. Definitely all the major cast members did a good job, especially Mohanlal. His comic timing is really good. This is the second comedy film of his. The first one was Lekha. You can check out my review here. Shobna was really good, and it's considered to be her film, not Mohanlal's, and I can totally understand that. Now coming to the Hindi remake Bhool Bhulaiyaa, directed by Priyadarshan, the story credit is given to Madhu Muttam, starring Akshay Kumar, Vidya Balan, Paresh Rawal and many more. I've seen this movie many times in my childhood, and it was quite a rage when it came out. And now having seen the original, I would say this is a very faithful adaptation. Many scenes are frame to frame the same. Some of the dialogues are directly taken from the original. And after Hera Fairy, I would say this is a great remake. To take a story set in Kerala and adapt it in a North Indian setting, it's very well done. And it's good to see that they lived up to the original. Now definitely in the remake, there's an emphasis on the comedy. There's a lot of exaggeration in all the departments. And even when we were watching it on Discord, some of the Malayalis who hadn't seen the Hindi remake, they said it feels very overdone. And I would agree to them. But I enjoyed the over-the-top experience. Now this film came out in 2007. Of course, technical wise, it will be superior. The one thing I really liked was a lot of camera angles, a lot of camera movements are also taken from the original. And that's why technically, if the original was made today, it would be made like this. The thing with Hindi remake is also that, they had a lot of exposure to horror films. So the horror sequences, the way it's shot, the way it's lit, creates that horror feel more than the original. And again, it's a technical thing. If in 1993 they had the budget, the technology, the knowledge, of course they would have also made it better. Now one thing the remake got really well was the casting. Absolutely great job. Now, first of all, of course, Akshay Kumar, he's very good at comedy, and he actually takes a lot from Mohanlal's performance in this. Many things what Mohanlal did in original, he does the same things, but he just exaggerates it, and that makes it very funny. Even Paresh Rawal, who played Innocent's role, Manoj Joshi, who played Nedumudi Venu's role, and his role is very different in this film. He's more of a conservative and orthodox guy compared to the original. The biggest one, Rajpal Yadav, who played the Chota Pandit, but I think one of the standout has to be Jasika Joshi, who plays Lalitha's role, and a comic timing and chemistry with Akshay Kumar is very well done. Now definitely watching the remake again, some of the acting is, oh my god, cannot tolerate it, especially by Shiney Ahuja and Ameesha Patel. Like literally some of the scenes with them are unbearable. Now there are some minor differences between the film. I think the Hindi film goes more into this horror ghost direction, that they have done some Hindu rituals to block the ghost. It's a haunted house. In the remake, Nedumudi Venu's character has a daughter who in her childhood had gone to the haunted place and she was found unconscious there, and after that she was unable to speak ever again. But by the climax, when she kills the king at the end, she gets her voice back. And I think that was added in the film just to make it more horrific, so that we have a character in front of us all the time who suffered from a ghostly thing, which honestly doesn't really add much. Definitely the music and sound in the remake makes it more spooky, but again it's very over the top. Now the songs in the remake were also hit. The title track of the film was a big hit, and later it was added into the film. See, personally, Bhool Bhulaiyaa is imprinted in my head. While I was watching Manichitrathazhu, watching those scenes, Bhool Bhulaiyaa was playing in my head. That's how impactful that film was in the childhood. And it would be same for you, you know, while you are watching Bhool Bhulaiyaa, Manichitrathazhu will play in your head. But the best part about it is that Manichitrathazhu was such a great film, was written so well, that even its remake had such a big impact on me, who was living in another part of the country. And that's what a job of a remake is. I would have never watched Manichitrathazhu when I was small. Forget that, it would not be available with subtitles. But remaking that film, setting it in North Indian setting, which I could relate to, I could watch and experience this story and have it part of my life growing up. Now, we may not have the experience of watching the same films growing up, but we definitely had the experience of watching the same story growing up. And that's a victory of this film, to be part of all the cultures through different means. Do let me know what should be the next comparative study. Through channel membership, you can support this channel and help me continue this journey ahead. And in turn, you get various perks. To know more, click on the join button. For more information, check out the community page. So guys, that is the video. Thank you for watching. If you like this, hit the thumbs up button. Share this video. Let me in the comments your thoughts. If you haven't subscribed yet, check out the videos. If you like them too, do consider subscribing. And I'll see you next time.